Beautiful people, how's it hanging? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. You already know what this one is going to be. First time to the channel, guys, make sure you subscribe, make sure you notify, make sure you do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Docs content. All of my good stuff shall be listed in the link in the description area below. Now, I know this normally isn't my talking points whenever I put out videos, but I think that as a man who is representative of the travel community, more specifically those that travel to the Philippines, I do believe that this story is very relevant, prominent, and things that I think foreigners need to know. So, like I said, guys, first time to the channel, subscribe and like. Let's go ahead and get into it. I had a friend share with me a very, very interesting story about his time spent down in Latin America, more specifically in the country of Colombia. Now, there was a video that I put out probably a couple of weeks back, maybe a little longer, that talked about Latinas and Filipinas, right? Which one is better, whatever it may be, however I titled it. And in that particular video, I was stressing some of my curiosities about Latina women in reference to being able to travel down to Colombia and places like the Dominican Republic, and, you know, my general interest in one day seeing that particular part of the world. And when he saw that video, he reached out to me. He says, I want to share this story with you, but just make sure that it remains, you know, low-key. He didn't really want to have his information put out there. I said, fair enough. So he commences to sharing the story with me through Facebook Messenger, about a time that he went down to Colombia, had a little 2-week vacation. You know, he was dabbling in all the things that foreigners would normally do when you take a trip down to the DR. If you know, then you know. So he finds himself at this one bar. He did mention the name of the bar, but I'm not going to mention it because, well, you know, because I don't want them to feel like this story is associated with the bar. So he's like, I found myself at this one bar, and, you know, they had girls there that were dancing and stuff like that. He met a young lady that he would eventually take back to his place. So, being a very cautious person, because we have to be cautious as foreigners when we travel to different countries, of course we got to be safe. So, being a cautious person, he was very adamant and very, you know, he was on top of things when it came to how they prepared his drinks and stuff like that, just to make sure there was no opportunity for anybody to slip anything into his drinks, you know, or try to find a way to come up off of him in any way. You know, he kept his wallets in his front pocket, so there's no pickpocket action or making sure nobody drugged him in his drink or anything like that. He was always on point. He would only drink drinks that came in glasses where they had to open the bottle top right in front of him, or if they did prepare drinks, he would see somebody else order the exact same drink before him, and if he wanted it, he would order after them, watch them prep it. You know, he was on top of his ish because, you know, he realized that, you know, as a foreigner, you just got to take the necessary precautions to keep yourself from being put in compromising situations. So he felt like he played it cool to the T. So he had probably met young ladies prior to this particular situation, but this particular situation will definitely change his perspective, right? And definitely bring about something that I have never seen in the Philippines yet, all right? So he tells me he takes her back to the hotel room. I think he might have slipped into the bathroom real quick, you know, just to, you know, freshen up, man. You know, I don't know what it was. And then she ended up going into the bathroom after him or whatever while he was waiting. So laying on the bed or whatever, and keeping it as PG-13 as much as possible. You know, they get the commencing and kissing and doing all of this action, you know, whatever it would lead to, you know, hopefully a good evening for my guy. That was what the anticipation was, the excitement. Great, great evening. So apparently, damn, I gotta get into details. Okay. So, you know, he was kissing on her neck and stuff like that. He was telling me this, so I had to go ahead and tell you guys. So he was kissing on her neck, and then he finds her way to her breast, like her areolas, her nipple area. And he said he tasted something kind of sweet, but he ain't think nothing about it. So he was kissing her on and everything like that. Next thing he knows, blackout. Just black the fuck out. When he comes to, You know, he fell. You see, his pockets were turned inside out. You could tell that his stuff had been ransacked. Not necessarily as if somebody came in a room and they just tossed the room, but you could tell like stuff was out of place, that he may have put it in a place and it just seemed to be in a different place and stuff like that. Of course, the girl was going and all of that stuff. Now, how he remembered this, maybe it took him some time to recollect, but this is the transition of the story that he told me, and he could tell me exactly what happened. So he calls whoever he needs to call in order to let people know, oh man, I feel like, you know, the girl I was with, she robbed me or whatever it may be. So when he was talking to the officer, or who he was commencing with, I don't know if it was the officer or just somebody in the hotel room looking to get the lobby. It wasn't specified in the story. But when he was telling the story to somebody, best way for me to put it, the guy specifically asked, when you kissed her at all, because he went through the process of telling him, yo, I didn't have my drink unattended or anything like that. He was like, did you kiss a part of her body that tasted sweet? That's what the guy asked him, and he was like, you know, in a fog, but I think he can remember. You'll remember a sweet taste around a lady's areola, all right, her nipple and whatnot. And he said, yeah, I did. He didn't get into details, but he said, yeah, I did. He says, then basically she drugged you. And that whatever was on her nipple, I can't remember what he called it. He said it knocked you out. So when he told me that, I started bugging out. Because I'm like, bro, I'm a breast man, bro. Like, for real. Like, with just being as candid as honest, yo, that's my shit. That's me. Like, that's my area. That's my playground. All right? You mean to tell me that now I got to be cautious about this shit now? And I said, man, just another thing to think about. But ironically, you never really hear about foreigners being drugged in the Philippines. It's not common practice. Yes, scammed. Yes, you know, shit like that, cheated out of money or whatever you want to call it. That shit happens, right? But it's never I black out and woke up and I don't remember shit. It's never been one of those moments that you really hear about often in the Philippines. But apparently, this is something that happens far more often than not in Latin American countries like that. Not saying that all women do it. Of course, that's not fair. Of course, I'm not saying all Filipinos are scammers. That's not fair. But the simple fact is that it happens. And now that's just one more thing to have to prepare ourselves for. Should we choose to travel in certain countries? Should we choose to engage in certain acts? One more thing that we have to look out for. It's great to know this information, and at times it's great to live vicariously through others, or at least have somebody sharing that experience with me before it happens to me. But now it just raises somewhat of a level of concern. Now, is that going to stop me from traveling where I want to go? Absolutely not. But now that's just something else to put in the back of your mental. And prior to this story, I had never heard of a guy being drugged by a woman putting some type of whatever around her areola. I've never heard that. I've never heard a story like that. This is the first time. And I'm not saying that this is uncommon, because once I heard that story and I started, not spreading the story, but started talking to other friends about it who had been to the, the DR in Colombia and stuff like that. They're like, yo, man, yeah, I've heard that too. So it's not necessarily common practice, but maybe it's something that has happened to others in that particular country before. So that means it's not something that's new. This isn't new information that I'm giving you guys. This isn't breaking news or trending news or anything like that. But what it is now something for us to be aware of when we choose to make those trips down in those areas. Now, I've heard of very slick ways that maybe somebody try to get something in your drink, or, try to get something on your skin, because there's even like not tablets, but like stickers or something that they'll put on your skin. And if that stuff is absorbed through your skin, it could cause you to pass out too. I mean, there's so many different tactics that people can utilize. It's scary. But now it's just a way to, keep your eyes open. It makes you a little bit more aware of your surroundings and a little bit more aware of what you're looking to partake in, or what acts you're looking to partake in, and how you can protect yourself the best way humanly possible. And I felt like I had to share the story because it's revelatory for me. And it was crazy to think how many breastises did I lick in my past where I could have fell victim to that? I'm not fucking with y'all, but let's think about that for a second. It make you think, man. And as I'm thinking about the story, definitely wanted to bring it to the channel. Definitely wanted to bring it to you guys because this is revelatory at its finest for me. Having somebody sharing a story like that, that is like not necessarily mind-blowing, but eye-opening. And I hope that you guys were able to find some benefit in it. If you did, please feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, spread the word. Be careful when you're traveling now and getting involved with these ladies. Be careful what part of the bodies you choose to kiss on. You taste something sweet, run, bitch, run. Wow. And till this day, I can't tell you exactly what the name of this particular knockout drug, I'll call it, what it was called. But apparently it had a sweet taste, man, and it was one of those experiences. And I pray and I'm glad that nothing really bad seemed to happen. Yeah, he got his pockets ran and probably lost some electronics and stuff like that, maybe a phone or whatever. But his life is still intact. You know, they ain't take no kidney. Because I kind of be freaked out about that too, being drugged, waking up, and then find myself on a bed of ice with my kidney cut out or something like that. Because that happens now. They'll drug you for the black market crazy quick. You know, I don't know. But definitely something I want to share. If you enjoyed it, man, you already know what to do. Drop a like, man. If you think that this is a video that's worthy of Doc getting some of your support, there's a little button in the corner that says thank you with a little heart around it, man. You want to drop a couple dollars on the Good Doc's books. That would be highly, highly appreciated. I do have Patreon for all of my exclusive content I don't share. And of course, there's a Cash App and all of that good jazz. Books, ebooks, my shit's flying off the shelves. For real. Like, I would never have imagined that my books would sell like they did, but they have. Thank you guys for that. But all of that stuff is listed in the link in the description area below. With that being said, the Good Doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahakita. Mabuhay. Peace.